Good evening, junkies. We are back again 2 weeks in a row for you. 2 weeks. It's Bob. I'm here with Sarah. We also have Brent back in the product. If I could even speak, production booth. Yes, we've got him chained in there. He's at the controls. So not sure how everyone's doing this Wednesday, the last day of August. September's tomorrow. Keep in mind, September 1st is tomorrow. The start of fall is not tomorrow.
And the start of Fright Fest is not tomorrow.
That is correct. That is correct. Hello, Sydney. Hello, Caitlin. So we are here today to talk member rewards.
And I can't believe we've never really had this conversation. So this is kind of a fun one.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot. We haven't. I don't even think we've touched really on rewards anywhere in any show that we've done.
No. And I think a lot of it now they're available to everybody, including season pass. So I think because it was such a niche thing, but we will talk about. We've had the questions come up a little bit. I think now that people are starting to accumulate enough to get some things. So this is perfect.
Now we've got waiting to see. Oh, I'm going to bring in Jay Z to join us here too. Jay Z is in the house. Hi, Jamie. Welcome.
Hi.
We actually did the cabana as rewards back when that was an option. That used to be the best value for rewards.
And I was going to save up for that again this year. Darn it.
I know we could have hosted a huge cabana junkies party, but since the cabanas aren't there anymore.
I probably had enough points between all 3 of my passes to rent all 9 or 12 of them.
Truth be told, one of my passes does have a cabana left on it to redeem on a weekday. We just never did this season, so I'm sure we just threw it away.
Yeah. Mine still has one on there from 3 years ago.
Yeah, see, Brent, we're letting him talk in the chat, since we don't let him on camera since he's locked up in a room. But he said the cabana was the reason he was in the point system.
So for those who don't know about rewards points, these are for members and traditional season pass holders and annual pass holders 13 and over. They are in an opt-in. So you still have to sign up for it. It's pretty easy. You just kind of accept the terms and conditions of it, which basically are, we can take this away at any time and decide not to do it at any time and remove rewards, and not all rewards are available, all that kind of stuff. And so you accumulate rewards for doing different tasks in the park. Obviously the quickest way to get rewards is to spend money. But there are some other, just entering a park, ride check-ins get you a little bit. Some of us have a ton of rewards because back during the COVID closure, one of the benefits for Diamond Elite was that we would get, was it triple? Didn't we have
a year? Yes, we were getting triple at one point.
Yeah, for like the 2020, maybe. Must have been 2020 that we had triple points, and every time through that drive-through checking into rides, 9 points per ride added up.
Yeah, it's that you're getting it off of the purchases. I mean, I've accumulated a bunch of points from going to Starbucks all the time.
Yeah, they're 20. I mean, it's 25 to make sure I'm getting this right. Is it 50 to enter the park or 20? I should look up.
50.
It's 50
to enter our own park.
We used to get 50 to enter the water park and 50 to enter the dry park. I don't see it getting both anymore.
Well, that just depends on how. So we're supposed to get 50. And so I've gotten 50 the same day between 2 parks. But often, as we realize with the water park, is they don't use a handheld scanner that is set for Hurricane Harbor. They use it that's set for Six Flags Great America. And I believe that's the reason that our meals don't tend to work in Hurricane Harbor either, because they're actually scanning us into Six Flags Great America. We're entering Hurricane Harbor, and that's why our meals aren't working. But you should be getting 50 if you go in Hurricane Harbor, 50 if you go into Six Flags Great America. If you visit a distant park, it's 100. So some of our friends, I think Coaster Llama, his home park is Six Flags St. Louis. So when he would come up to Great America, he'd get lots of points.
I miss
And
Coaster Llama.
I know.
I've seen him once this season.
I saw him at the tasting, maybe.
I saw him at the
It's-
picnic last year. That was it.
I have not seen him out in the wild. Coaster Llama, if you see this, we check in. Your family misses you.
Yeah.
So 50 for entering the park, 25 per dollar spent. It does round down, so it doesn't prorate, it rounds down. And that's for food or merchandise. And then 3 for every ride check-in. So there are you go near a ride, doesn't actually know if you rode the ride. There's different spots. Jamie can tell you where any spot. So if anyone has questions,
and they are some of them are very difficult.
Some are tricky. She's the one who's told me, she's the expert on that. But it's surprising what counts as a ride. So like the splash pad is a ride. Mm-hmm. That's a 3 point. So those are 3 point. They add up. And then the nice thing about those is if you have several passes of family members in your app and you check in, anyone on your app who was in the park with you also gets those points. And then it's 6 for shows. But have any of the shows been programmed to work this season?
Not this season.
No, okay. No. And for those who are wondering how to actually check in for rides, I know sometimes that comes up. When you're in the app, I'm trying to get this focus in. So when you're on the tab with the rides, tap any rides. I'll just tap, Columbia Carousel here. Let me try that again. So once you're tapped in here, let me try to get this to focus. You'll see a spot on here that says check in and earn points. Obviously, it says too far away. I'm not standing next to the carousel, but you would be able to click check in at that point and check in for that ride.
Yeah, and it'll say it'll give you a message and said it's been recorded. You can only check in once per. It'll only check in. It'll only show once per ride per day.
And your points don't show up until the following day, so you can't go and look and make sure that it registered.
I think it's like 7 in the morning the next day.
We're bringing somebody else on stream here. Hang on. Please welcome for the first time as a junkie moderator, Hector.
Woo, Hector!
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the crazy show.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm on my phone, so
no worries.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome.
So I used to start my day where the kids would go off and do their thing, and I would just walk the entire park and check into every single ride. It took me about 30 minutes, and that way I got it all checked in before the park got busy and I couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi or there was too many people in the park. But I had all of my points checked in first thing by 11 o'clock in the morning. And
so
right
Jamie,
now, I don't even bother.
Oh, yeah. What are the hardest ones to check into? Oh, Mike Burke checked into Kinetic. So what are the hardest ones to find for our
Max Force? I think I've only gotten it once or twice.
I got that one once.
Goliath, you have to know exactly where it is, and I will be honest and fair. It is in the exit. You have to walk up the exit in order to check in that you have ridden that ride.
Max Force is something strange. Like I got that once. I think I got it twice. I think I actually got it once during a drive-through, which is really, really rare.
Really strange.
Really strange. It must be like the wind was just blowing the right way that day. And I got it once from just outside of the store.
Oh, see, and I've never gotten it. Mine have always been in the exit, almost close to the exit where you're exiting the ride. And some of those kitty ones by Eagle are very difficult too.
Yeah, and Eagle you have to get from
inside the kitty area.
Inside the kitty area.
It's like they're all on one same single.
Oh, they could. Oh. See, I haven't really tried to check in any rides. I've my visits have been so quick. I don't want to hold my phone right there. But yeah, there are nice points. And there
coming up Fright Fest season, you can check into haunted houses. You can check into scare zones. Of course, you could in the past. So, and those all count, I think, as 6 points for the shows. So those are extra points you could tack on.
Nice.
If you're going for that rock candy.
Or the
Yeah.
Dippin' Dots.
So let's look. I mean, we have seen a reduced. It used to be, we used to have Cabana, used to be like the big item. But and when the other items were tickets, those have been removed. So let's look at our reward catalog.
Okay, so to redeem points, you do have to log into the member portal, so the mypass.sixflags.com. I took a screenshot here just for the mere fact I don't need 10,000 junkies knowing my membership number.
Order number.
So all you're going to do is tap on rewards. Once you're in the portal, this is at the very top of the screen. That will bring you into the reward catalog with all of the options of rewards that you can redeem. And a lot of them were taken away.
And you have to be careful because just because it's here does not mean that the reward is available at the park. So like we don't have a slingshot and our sky coaster isn't open. So I would definitely not do those, because if you redeem them, and I mean, they are good when you redeem them. All of these are good at any park, I believe. So like if you're traveling, you can use them. I find that the rewards program has worked better at distance parks than Great America. For some reason, there's a lot of glitches at Great America. There's no safari. Oh, Brent, you missed the picnic. I was giving out safari pins.
Yeah, there are some safari pins
Bob
out there.
now has a safari pin.
Yep.
So yeah, if you have to be careful, we don't have a slingshot. The other thing I've been told to be careful about is the small Dippin' Dots. We don't have a small Dippin' Dots at our park. So currently that is a useless reward for Six Flags Great America because we have the Goliath size, and what's the smaller one called? We only have two sizes left.
Just regular? It might be regular.
Yeah, I was like, we don't have the kitty cup, or we don't have anything called small. So there is like what we're hearing reports, and what makes sense is that these Dippin' Dots rewards don't work, which is really a bummer because that's kind of a high value of points, and it's one that would actually be useful to us, but we can't use it.
And I also found that sometimes you can redeem your points and it may take 48 hours for it to actually load onto your pass.
Yeah. Also watch out. I mean, for a member, especially a Diamond Elite member, there's not a ton of value or there's no value if you're picking like a 1 day 50% off of everything. That is going to become a more valuable. That's the most valuable one in here. And as we transition into these new annual passes, that's going to be a really valuable reward. Now that I said that,
stays.
they'll probably get rid of it. But 1 day at 35% off of everything. Obviously, those are big rewards if you have something that is platinum or below, or a new pass, but it's preferred parking, also not really a high value. $10 off. Is that $10 off of retail? Yeah, that's
yes, $10 off a retail purchase.
Or $20. Yeah, $20. That's a really great one. Keep in mind that it will take your $20 off your purchase first, and then the registers apply the discount to whatever's left over, which is actually kind of impressive because most places make you do either or. But the Six Flags computers currently will take the $20 off. So like, let's say I buy $35 worth of merchandise, it's going to end up being $7.50 plus tax, because it's going to take the $20 off, and then it's going to take 50% if I have Diamond Elite off of my 15. So if you have a bigger discount, you want to think about, do you want to break things up a little bit? But so for a Diamond Elite, it's really only worth $10 extra, if you're following my math. The food purchase, my trick for the food purchase one is it's a really good one to pick when we get to having like, well, I guess we don't have Holiday in the Park mugs this year. If they have a Fright Fest mug for hot chocolate, it's a good one. 2 pass is a pretty good one. I mean, and then I've heard for the cotton candy, it is not for the bagged cotton candy. Our members have reported that it is for the small tub, because it does say it's a small cotton candy. So the retail tub.
I mean, the 1,000 points for the large fountain drink, I mean, that's a good deal if you're making a last minute stop at the park. You don't have your drink cup with you.
Absolutely. I actually think that one is one of the best values, just to have that just like there. Rock candy's not a bad one. The icy, then I don't burn it. Like that's another one. If you don't, the icy is the same as a Coke. If you, that's a really great one. So these little ones, now I've currently run into a problem. So be careful. So I have currently run into, and I know others have, that there's a glitch right now with the redemption. Whereas if like, I've used the icy one before. It's nice to have an icy in addition to a snack. If I were to go redeem an icy again with my 58,000 points or however many I have, Jamie probably has more. I know Rich has even more. If I was to redeem for an icy, it would take the 1,000 points off. But the icy that I had just redeemed would show up used, because there's some way that they have programmed it where it doesn't issue a new unique reward. It almost like a clone. It almost like clones the same reward. So if you've used it and you redeem it again, it just thinks that it's the same coupon that you already redeemed or the same reward. So it's really frustrating right now that I think the only reward left on here that I could possibly redeem is a churro, because I've already redeemed all of them. So for some of us right now, yeah, thanks Six Flags IT. That's super awesome.
There's not many like the churro and the pretzel at this point. I wouldn't even bother because I could get them as a snack.
Yeah. I guess
Having
if I
the
had
dining
somebody else,
plan.
if I had somebody else with me, it's fine. But like, I like to use them on, like, if we bring a friend in, I'll use them for like the $10 food pass. At Fright Fest time, it's nice to use one, like throw one on for a sweatshirt. They're not supposed to stack, but like there have been times where the other thing that happens, like if I have my phone and I redeem for, this has happened, I redeem for $20, and then one of my kids is like, I want to get one too. And then I think I flipped over to somebody else's and it doesn't clear the cache or anything, the cache or anything. And then I've redeemed for mine again. I end up with 40 and lose $40. They have stacked them. I don't think they're supposed to. I think there was a lot wrong with programming for this reward.
And that's just the thing. I have probably 150,000 points because I get 1,000 a month, right? We still get our 1,000 a month for paying during COVID that are completely useless to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we can just we want to be honest about it. Like, these are great, but right now, be careful, watch it carefully. If you redeem points, and you don't see it show up, look at your used and like, I think I can go to my used right now. I think I've used that drink like 4 times, and I can go to my used and it'll say like ×4. So just be careful. I have noticed that guest relations has been like, I take my screenshot of my redemption now as soon as I redeem, and when it doesn't show up, I've been able to take that to guest relations to show them that I redeemed, and to show them they can see a history of when points have been like when my purchases that I haven't used it and it isn't there, and they've been champs about returning the points, but at this point, what's the point of them returning them, because there's nothing to use them on.
Use them on. And I would be a huge one if I could I will redeem my 20,000 or whatever it is for the $10 or $20 off 5 times. I'll waste all my points on that, be done during Fright Fest so that I can buy the sweatshirts.
Yeah, it is. So it's great. They're fun to collect. And a lot of us collected a ton when we had 3 times points, or when we had a 5 times member day. They used to have days where they would give a certain amount 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. The math on that got a little interesting. I do know it was done by hand, by a human, and there's human error, and it got interesting, but it was usually interesting in our favor, except for the time Mike will remind me, except the time we were supposed to have 4 times points on the 4th of July drink, and they just did 4 times the cost of the drink for my bonus points instead of 4 times the points. Weird things happen, but it's a little more straightforward. So it is a nice way. Like we were told, no freebies. These are freebies, so we can complain, but I mean, they're freebies. I was told there would be no math. So I think that's pretty much, like, technically you do need to be 13. So if you have children, it does say right on there they have to be 13, and we have heard of Jamie, you can confirm. We have heard of 13-year-olds, like if somebody calls and says something didn't work and it turns out they're under 13, where they've been removed from the member program.
I have not heard of that.
Richard Kim said something about that happening.
Yeah, keep in mind too, in terms of, you know, the rewards on here, there used to be some decent ticket rewards that you could redeem as well.
Yeah, I think it was like 40,000 points for a weekend, any weekend, bring a friend free.
Yeah, it was only 5,000 for a weekday.
Yeah, weekday, and then the weekend was, you know, more points obviously, but yeah, I can see people using those, especially with the fact that, you know, there are really no bring a friends anymore.
And you bring that friend, and that friend is spending money to eat in the park or buying something to remember their day.
And I would also say that the biggest way that most of us have our points isn't so much for the check-ins, the 3-point or at the time 9-point. The only way that you can accumulate as many points as we have is to actually spend money in the park. And if you're trying to increase in park spending, this is a really great way to do this. But to make it completely the way that it's set up right now, where it just doesn't function and we can't use it, it's not an incentive to up our in-park spending. Wink, wink, hint, hint. If anyone on the board of directors hears this, or somebody in charge of actually fixing IT, that's like, it is a spend. The more you spend, the more points you have. There's not really a way to hack the points. Like there was at one point, you could hack the points. That was fixed. But there's not a hack. So like you can't defraud Six Flags with points. The only way you get them is if you check into the rides, which they've already set up, check into the shows, or spend money, or visit and spend money. There's no other way to do it. So when we're spending money, it should be usable. Any questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, spending money every visit to the park, Starbucks gets my money. Every single trip I'm there.
$0 spent at Starbucks.
I almost didn't spend money at Starbucks, and I went in on Sunday, but then I was waiting. My middle daughter had never tried beignets, and I said, fine, you can have some breakfast beignets right when they opened. And then as I was waiting, I'm like, oh, well, Starbucks is right here. So then they did up my in-park spending that day.
It's bad. The last time I was in there, I walked up and the girl on the register goes, iced caramel macchiato. I was like, yeah.
That's bad.
Don't forget to tip at the Starbucks for good service.
I do all the time. Every time.
Anyone have any ideas for things that they would love to see, if they'd love to see a rewards catalog open up with some more items? What kind of things would inspire you to want to collect some points?
Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh.
Back in the day, didn't they used to have like when it first started, wasn't it like a VIP experience? We were hoping they were going to add a VIP, like a back lot tour for 200,000 points or whatever.
Oh, like Lego and Disney have those, like in their reward programs. The high thing is you get Oh, yeah. Brent wants the cabana back.
Yep. I want the cabana back.
VIP cabana back would be great. 40,000 points. If you do the math, for how much money one would have to spend for that, if you think of like 25 points per dollar, I mean, you have to spend some money to get that. VIP behind the scenes tour, I think, would be great. I mean, you slap 100,000 points on that. It's something to really work on. Oh, caricature.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or the
we
face
forget
painting.
about
Or face painting.
that.
What about a meet and greet with character? I mean, sometimes you can get lucky enough to get a picture like with the ringmaster, but with 50,000 people around you. What if you could get one with nobody around you?
What about like something that wouldn't cost the park a penny? Like a VIP seating for reserved seating for a show.
Oh.
Ooh.
Did you think of how many, like at Love at First Fright or Ringmaster, how many junkies would be like, yeah, I'll slap down 20,000 points per, like to get 2 seats? Be great.
My family currently would wait there 3 hours to try and get those seats and do nothing else in the park. And then you get in there and they're gone already. So, but I mean, yeah, that would be, something someone who doesn't want to wait for.
Or even like a behind the scenes tour of like the Grand Music Hall.
Yeah. Something very, I mean, honestly, there's not much. I mean, a lot of, if you've done the drive-through, you've seen most of backstage. There's not that much. Although what is really cool, and I don't know if they still have it, is they did keep, at one point you could go back and see some of the old costumes, and they had them displayed back in some of their backstage buildings. Those would be kind of cool. We're all wanting those cabanas.
Yeah. Dwayne wants
I'd like to see some more like basic snack things, like a piece of fudge, things that aren't on the.
But even
Yeah.
the cabana, if it's a weekday cabana, you don't have that many people renting cabanas during the week. So they're sitting there empty. So what are they losing at that point?
They're just making us spend money.
Yeah. Well, on maybe at $40 on a 2-seat chairs, I'm not going to spend money on a cabana during the week when there's plenty of open chairs.
My math brain thinks that if you had set those chairs at $10 a pair, they would fill when you'd be making more money than having like one person rent out a set of chairs for $40. That's just my math brain. What do I know?
Gary says watch a rehearsal.
Yeah, if they would like tailor it to I know it's hard because it's a national program, but that would be so cool.
Here's somebody said snow cones.
Oh yeah. Well, how about funnel cake since it's not on the meal plan?
Funnel cake would be a good idea.
I mean, you slap funnel cake on there for what? You could put 10,000 points on that. Was it 10,000 usually like a $20? Yeah, put 10,000 points. Get a funnel cake sundae.
Or the roasted nuts from Trudy's.
Yeah.
They could do any of the snacks since they're not having a snack on the dining plan.
Yeah. So thumbs up, thumbs. I mean, does anyone have any other reward, any questions or can you transfer points to someone else? No. And if you are switching passes, I would screenshot where your points are at the time. I personally have had no problem with points automatically transferring between my accounts. Like when I upgraded my 2 younger children up to Diamond Elite, their points followed them. I've heard others have had problems, guest relations.
Yes, I heard that too.
Yeah, they can make some adjustments, but screenshots are your friend. Obviously you want to be honest and show what you have. And they're usually very accommodating for it. A 5-minute interview with the Dippin' Dots guy.
Who said that?
I missed the Game Pass. I think the Game Pass was awesome. If you weren't aware of what the Game Pass was, it wasn't like a season pass for games, but it was a little booklet with like dollar game certificates. And then they had a couple, like you could there were a couple games you could play for free, and then a couple like buy one get one free coupons, and they were what, $20?
Yeah.
They weren't bad, and I think it was really handy, especially because the park is cashless. Bringing that pass back, I think, would be really handy just in general. I know we don't have a lot of games open, but for a parent just to like swipe through and give a kids a couple game passes.
Well, points for the go-karts.
Yeah.
Points for haunted house wristbands for people that don't get them
Yeah.
automatically.
Was that on there? Did they ever
No.
have? No. That'd be smart.
Caitlin wants to rent out the whole park with points.
100,000, a
Well,
million
that'd be a
points.
lot of points.
1 million points.
1 million points for yourself and a friend. You can come from 9:45 to 10. Oh, like a points sweepstakes type thing.
Or Brent, jump on here if you want to clarify. We're all kind of looking this. There you go.
Yeah, there I was. I was just referring back to the games back at County
Oh,
Fair.
like one game.
Yeah, just throw a dart or whatever.
Yeah.
Basketball shots.
Brett would drop 100,000 points for a tour of the food truck.
No, that would need a joyride around the park for 100. Yes.
Well,
Okay,
you know,
200,000 points joyride.
Some companies do like where you can buy entries into sweepstakes with your points. So
that does that.
Yeah. Lego does it. Yeah, so this was just a quick one on how to, I mean, we can go again. You cannot redeem from your app. It does have to be on the mypass.sixflags.com to redeem. So you have to do it from the portal. Oh, mac and cheese. For anyone who missed it, you can accumulate them through checking into rides on the app, checking into shows on the app. You have to be within proximity, but the best way, and entering the park, the best way to accumulate points is to actually spend money in the park. Don't spend money for points, do a little calculation. Every 100 points is $4 of spending. So you can do the math up from there, how much you're actually, if you're spending to get points, that might not be the best way to get something. Like, don't think of how much that Coke is actually going to cost you if each 100 points is $4. But if you happen to be buying things anyway, or checking in and you see that your points are accumulating, pick something out. Don't feel like you need to save them forever. Just, pick something out, enjoy it.
Any other questions on rewards? Or, I mean, since this show's gone very short, questions on for those who are on, any questions on anything aside from rewards that we can answer or possibly have answers?
I know they said too that points are supposed to expire, but I have never seen my points go down or expire.
Considering that, I'm going to say it right on here, and hopefully somebody in corporate, and I heard they just hired a new corporate IT person, considering that they have not figured out how to issue a unique reward certificate every time somebody redeems points. I don't think they've figured out how to make these points expire either.
Don't give them incentives, Sarah.
I dare fix it all. Fine, fix it. I will follow whatever rules they have, but fix it, make it work. I would love for them if them making my points expire in 6 months also fixes the fact that I currently can only get like a tube or a pretzel, maybe because I've redeemed everything else before. I'll go redeem all my points. Like Jamie said, I'll go drop my 50,000 points on merchandise certificates and go shopping. Right. Churros, 2,500 points. Good question. That would actually take, how many visits to the park is that? 100 or no? 50 visits to the park? Go to the park 50 times, you can have a churro. Woohoo! Right? Did I math it right?
Tracy's going to cash in.
Oh, wait a minute. You could get some good things with 17,000 points.
See, I would spend money in the Jelly Belly store buying jelly beans too.
I honestly don't think that there's any point to. We used to hoard them because of that cabana. It's
Mm-hmm.
really not a point to hoard them. So if you're thirsty someday, get a Coke, get an icy.
I was thinking mine. Oh, go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
No, I was gonna. This has nothing to do with any of this, but I was just gonna point out for those are looking at Trace's picture here. We've got a young Sydney
Oh,
in that photo with him.
A young Tracy too.
Young Tracy too. Yeah.
I was gonna say when I first started saving up, I was saving up for that hope that they would add that VIP experience, and then I was saving up because we were planning on going to New Jersey, and I wanted to use it for the safari. Or wasn't there the dolphin thing in Magic Mountain or something?
we were so Discovery. Is it Discovery Kingdom? We
Yeah, I
were
think
supposed
so.
to go to Discovery Kingdom in 2020. That was our big family trip because we went to the East Parks. We went to parks out east in 19, and then we're going to go out to like the Bay Area in 2020 because at the time, Diamond Elite had the free dolphin experience and the free giraffe. New Jersey had the giraffe.
Mm-hmm.
Feed
That
the
was it,
giraffe.
Feed the Giraffes.
And it was with their Diamond Elite, but I don't remember if it was with points as well. But we were going to do that, but then I don't think that's still part of the Diamond Elite Pass, or maybe
No,
it is.
I don't think so. And I think it was points because I remember seeing it, but then I also think I remember hearing. Now I can't confirm or deny because I've never tried to use my points at another park, but something of that magnitude could not be used at your non-home park. Because I think Steven tried to use a cabana, Thrillmax tried to use a cabana in Texas. And
I think that's probably a Texas issue. We actually had points because for a while, when the points first came out, was that end of 2019? No, end of 2018 is when points came
18,
out, right?
yeah.
18. They weren't working at our park. And I know I talked to people who were management and retail. They're like, we keep telling them it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then we went out to Darien Lake and it just worked like a charm. Like these things that we kept trying to, every time we were turned away, it all of a sudden I'm like, why is money coming off for this? What? They're like, oh, you have points on there. I'm like, I didn't think I had points on there because they weren't working, but they do. I think whatever comes off, whatever the register will do, but there was never any rule against using a cabana.
At another park?
No. Actually, I have it on my, let me look, I have it on my phone right now. Will you believe that we never spent a day at Hurricane Harbor, Chicago this year? As a
Not
family.
all of you. Your housekeeper did.
My house. You think she cleans?
You said you had a lifeguard vacuum your floor.
That was the one thing she did.
She's standing next to you.
Yeah.
What?
I said you don't clean.
Yeah. That's such cap. I literally did everything. Yesterday. Yes.
I don't see it showing up anymore. Maybe as we speak, they took it off.
We jinxed it.
Nothing's really showing up on mine, like not on this pass. So I don't know. Probably needs another update. Yay, Six Flags IT. But yeah, it gave a list of parks where it was valid, and it's just weird. I don't even think all the registers are programmed the same way. Same as like at St. Louis, we went towards the beginning of the season, and then my total was like $4 for a whole bunch of stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you have points on here," and I didn't even know I had points on there. Just weird things happen with them. If they ever don't work, no. Does it say only Six Flags on the bottom? Oh, you have redeemed. Did they redeem it?
This was
as we're speaking, they redeemed it for her.
Oh no, see, that's the list that you're supposed to be able to use it. Yeah. I mean, if they ever say that they don't work, I mean, it's not, I would not guess that most of the cashiers or even management have dealt with a lot of membership redemption. It's not something that everybody does.
It does not say used. Does that mean I can use it on Labor Day Monday?
I mean, I guess technically, but sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes I found that some show up that I still have them and I don't. It just takes a little while for them, like they actually do show up used on their side. So if you've used it, you know you've used it. Like,
Yeah.
consider it gone. Don't think that it's still there. You know, you don't have that many rewards that you don't know. If you used it, you used it. Even if it's showing that it's still available, it's probably not. It does show up.
Well, it's not an option anymore, so it wouldn't be usable.
Oh, Monday is.
Right, but I'm saying it's not even an option
yeah.
you can redeem. I don't think. And then I think they do say that they're valid. They're not valid 6 months after redemption.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think the one that I have it, I had a weekday friend ticket from 2019 that still was showing up. And I also know I used it. I just don't touch it. It is what it is. I think it still would show up used on their end. I think there's just a glitch or like a lag or something isn't updating right.
It does say in here that it expires 6 months from the initial point redemption.
Can IT program that?
No.
Bob, have you ever redeemed anything?
I have not. No. No.
So you're just holding on.
Bob's
for
going to go
Starbucks?
shopping on Special Olympics Day.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Special Olympics, yeah, it's coming up on September 17th, which is the start of Fright Fest. There is
and the start of Oktoberfest.
Start of the kids' Boo Fest. I think, is that starting on the same day or not? I know we've got a whole bunch of new festivals coming up over this year and next year, but Coaster Challenge is taking place at the park, so you can either register to participate, and with the minimum fundraising on that, you do have to raise $825. The first 25 comes off right away with registration. That will get you into a 5K. And for those who do not know how Coaster Challenge works, you're raising money, and based on that dollar amount that you raise, you're going to be riding roller coasters the distance that you raise. So the 5K, you're going to be riding coasters for the length of 3.1 miles.
which isn't that long if you ride Raging Bull.
Right. It's probably about four cycles on Raging Bull, but you'll have access to all the coasters. You'll have a punch card every time you come off. You will have volunteers, and you'll probably see a lot of junkie volunteers as you're
I have the first shift.
I'll be volunteering. I'm participating in Coaster Challenge along with Laura, and then we're also volunteering from 1 to 5. So if you're going for the long haul, you'll probably see some of us around the park. Looks like Gary said he did a 10K on Max Force. That's a lot of launches, but your lanyard that you have basically will work as a fast pass up until particular times. Each one has a cutoff. I think 5K cuts off at like 1, and then the 10K, and then the half marathon and the marathon, they have different cutoff times, but you're going to just keep riding. You do got to do a little bit of math because everything that they show in the coasters is feet. So you have to kind of figure out, well, how many feet are in, 3.1 miles to kind of figure out the your actual distance there, but it's all going to a great cause. Special Olympics, Illinois. If you don't want to form a team, and Laura just confirmed that Boo Fest does start on the 17th as well. But you can do Coaster Challenge on your own. You can join the Junkies team. I'll be posting another post the next day or two with the links how to join us or the register.
And it starts at like 7 in the morning, right?
7 or 8 in the morning. Yeah. You're in there.
And then you have unlimited rides in the morning until park opens on certain coasters to help you get that start of your marathon.
Yes. And I think this season they're going more with
the east side.
Like the DC universe
Yeah.
side of it. So it's going to be the Flash, Batman, Little Dipper, and Joker, I think, for that first hour. So they're shorter coasters.
Batman? Did we? Yeah, it's that whole collection over.
Yeah, Gary just said Batman, Joker, Flash.
Flash isn't going to get you very many feet.
No.
Neither is
Jim
Little
will be on
Dipper.
that. Jim's like,
Joker's not that much of a distance either that you're gonna pick up on there.
But it is really fun to get into the park early, and to get to get that early ride time, and it's everyone's in a good mood because everyone's there for a good cause.
Now
If
here's
you're having your little kids though, that if they're not tall enough for the 54-inch rides, there's not really much for them to ride in that beginning half of the cycle.
right. It's also the other thing is too in that beginning half of the cycle. If you are a larger size person, I'll just put myself out there on this one. Don't fit on Flash, don't fit on Batman. So that means for that first hour of I can ride Joker, squeezing Little Dipper, but
that's hard for an hour.
Yeah, gonna have to wait for the park to actually open so we can hit the other actual coasters.
And it is nice in that respect that we have till 1 to do it, but that's a good point that those are not very forgiving rides. At least Flash and Batman aren't.
Yeah, like I said, it all goes to a great cause. So, if you want to form your own team, great. If you want to just go solo, if you want to join our team, it's all going to Special Olympics Illinois. If you don't want to participate, you can also volunteer to work as, one of the
volunteering is free.
Trackers. Yes, volunteering is free. I did confirm because somebody did have a question earlier today that I double checked with. To volunteer does not require you having admission to the park.
Mm-mm.
So if you want to volunteer and you only have a day ticket out there, you can go ahead and volunteer and you don't have to worry about having park admission to get in.
I mean, if you can give it think of how many rides that they have as part of this and they need a person punching. I had so much fun last time and we had a later shift. I had Whizzer, so no one was coming through, but it was still really fun. You get to, punch the card, greet people. It's all for a good cause. So you can raise the money and ride the coasters. Always ask your company if they have a matching gift. Or you can volunteer, but we just love to see a big contingent of junkies just helping out. This is an organization that's really near and dear, I know, to Laura's heart, and no one can say a bad thing about this organization. It's great.
And I think it's a great way for us junkies to give back to the park by helping out for all that they do for us.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there is a lot going on the 17th. I mean, it's Coaster Challenge right into Fright Fest, the Beer Fest. There's
if we get information on specifics or other things on Oktoberfest, we may jump on again. We're waiting for our confirmation on how the virtual wristbands for haunted houses will work, but we do anticipate that will still be a thing. That you will get if you're Diamond, you get your one house for the season. If you're Diamond Elite, you get one house each visit, or each house each visit. So we anticipate that working the same way.
If it's confirmed that we get them, or do we know
I
yet?
have seen so every year we're in this, we don't hear anything, but I have seen confirmation at another park that no one anticipates a major change in this.
Awesome.
So, that it's going to be the same kind of thing where you get your, it's kind of like the Flash, like the skip the line. You check in, you get your little QR code, and they scan you in.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a Fright Fest preview show once we have, sort of all the details. Mm-hmm. As of, us starting the show, I jumped on the Six Flags site. They still have not updated the Fright Fest section. Still says coming soon. I know.
Yeah.
Few of the parks actually have their details out there.
Ours were really late last year. For the last couple of years, they've been really late. I want to say it was like the week of when they could finally give us pricing. And they will, like, they know that we're going to ask. We'll ask again formally, and they'll give us what they have when they have it, when it's ready to come out. The last thing we want them doing is saying maybe this, maybe that, because we don't want to communicate that kind of information that's not right, because it's really hard to correct so we wait till they know everything.
The junkies said we can do this.
Yeah, we don't want to give them we don't work for the park. We'll say it again. We don't work for the park.
Yes.
Go ahead,
We
Bob.
do not work for the park. And when you get angry with us and you say that you are going to go report members of our admin team to guest relations, that's not going to really get you far.
Or I think somebody went to human resources, or
I think somebody was going. I think someone's gone to human resources before on someone.
We absolutely are an independent organization full of enthusiasts. We enjoy going to the park just like you enjoy going to the park. We ask questions as the Junkies organization, being, as any media organization would do. And they give us official answers through official channels. It's no different than if somebody else asks in an individual channel, like you ask in guest relations. We try to just ask through a channel to try to keep from our 10,000 people all asking the same thing. But we don't work.
I'm sure as soon as the stuff comes out there for Fright Fest, I'm sure they'll drop a press release on it, which I know they did last season.
Yeah. They're very happy to give us information to share with you, because it makes their job easier. Less they have to communicate, less people calling and asking or emailing and asking.
Any questions on anything else? Anything that's out there? Anything that
fireworks this weekend?
There are fireworks this weekend. Yep. 2 nights.
Hopefully one won't get rained out. We had one rained out
each night.
Jamie, you have the advice for fireworks?
Parking lot, parking lot, parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're out the door.
Yep. And remember,
there was 1/3 of July. I was in that parking lot for maybe 2 hours just waiting to get out.
Yeah. And Washington will not be open. The Washington Street entrance closes. So the fireworks are 8:45. So we anticipate Washington Street closes around 5:30, around that time.
Yeah, if not sooner. All depends how soon they're going to start setting up the.
That also means some of those rides will be unavailable. They do shoot them off.
Southwest, Max Force.
Yeah, so you're on the southwest side. Finding a place towards the back or towards the middle, or you go in the back part of the parking lot.
I don't think it matters. I'm usually right in the front.
You probably see them right over Hurricane Harbor.
I have my chairs in the trunk, and I can just sit in the parking lot in my chairs.
Be nice and cool. Order a pizza from Lou Malnati's. It'll be cheaper than a slice in the park. Have it delivered.
Then you'd have to sit closer to the pickup location, right?
You just send someone over there.
Yeah, it is probably better the farther back you are in the parking lot, because the closer you are, you do tend to get some of the trees in the way.
Order your pizza, have some deep dish, bring a cooler. It'll be fine. It'll be fun.
Good, nice little firework tailgate.
All right.
Anything else? Last chance here.
Going once.
Yeah, going twice.
I think Joey wanted to have like a meetup one of the days at he's our Hurricane Harbor Junkies mod, and he said if we have a nice day, Junkies take over of Rockford. We'll keep everyone posted. Can't have a cold day, and we can't miss. I don't know. Maybe Saturday.
All right. I think that will do it for this little episode. It's shocking when we stay under an hour, which is always kind of our goal. But when we have the questions, we don't kind of rush off. So, all right. Until next time, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.